أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربنا زدنا علما آمين يا رب العالمين. Welcome to lesson number 67 or study of Ilm Balagha. Alhamdulillah, we started with Majaz and Mursal. Today, inshallah, we are going to continue with the connectors that we have been studying, and now we are going to explore another powerful tool used in this Majaz and Mursal, one that reflects not the past or the present, but what something is destined to become. It's a style that makes language more meaningful by letting us describe a thing not for what it is now, but for what it will be in the future, and that is itibar ma yakunu. So this is considering what it is going to become or what will it become. So in this tool of Majaz and Mursal, the future state or the final form of the thing is mentioned, even though that's not what it currently is. So this means we use a description or title that the thing will have later, not the one it has right now. And this brings out deep expression and paints a vivid picture of where things are headed. It's like looking at the seed and calling it a tree because you're already seeing its potential and its final form. So this is uh, Etibar Mayakunu that we are going to learn about this and uh, like it's like looking at when you look at a caterpillar and we are just calling it a butterfly, not because it's one now, but because we already know what it's going to become. So that's exactly what happens in this kind of metaphor because in our school days, like we have learned about the transformation of the caterpillar into a butterfly, that whole process, the metamorphosis. We studied about this whole process which involves like four stages of like first it was an egg, then the larva that was the caterpillar, then the pupa, the that cocoon, and then becoming an adult butterfly. So all of it, this is so beautifully like painted in Itibar Mayakun. So let's see how it is used in terms of Balagha. As we know that we are starting with this Itibar Mayakunu, what something will become, we'll see a very beautiful example from the Quran. And it's an example of this is you can say grapes and khamar. We know that one way of making khamar is through the fermentation of the grapes. So in this form of the majas, we are going to see that what something is going to become. Now, now see this beautiful example from the story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. When he was in prison, one of his fellow inmates said, Inni arani asiru khamran. Like, indeed, I see myself pressing wine. And that was from Surah Yusuf, ayah number 36. Now think, can wine be pressed off? Of course not. What he really meant was, I see myself pressing grapes. So, because grapes are what eventually become wine through fermentation, a process. So, why mentioning wine instead of the grapes? Because the wine is the future result, the final outcome of pressing the grapes. And so the uses the name of what the grapes will become. And this kind of expression is called majaz mursa alaqatuhu itibaru ma yakunu. This majaz mursa with the link being considering what something will become. So what's the power in this? This style allows the speaker to highlight the end goal or the you can see the natural transformation of something. It gives a sense of direction and purpose to the expression, and in doing so, it becomes a language more you can say. meaningful and layered. So, you are not just talking about grapes, you are talking about what they are destined to turn into. So, this is a very beautiful style of Majaz al Mursal. So, as we were doing this example, we know that why do like we can say that why do Arabs use this type of language? Because it brings the end results into focus, like adding depth, and we can say creativity and emotions to the expression, and it lets you see the future in present. So this is majaz mursa alaqatuhu i'tibar ma yakunu. So mm, in this example of Surah Yusuf, and like you can see how it has been told in a very captivating and meaningful and way when Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam was in prison, and even in prison, his character, we can say, has and the calmness and wisdom were all shining. And these two, we know about the story. The two young men were imprisoned with him, and one of them just came with this dream of his, and he said this: "I saw myself pressing wine." So, of course, we know that we can drink wine, spill wine, or pour wine, but you can't squeeze it from anything directly. So we know that what has been going on here. The young man was actually pressing grapes, but he didn't say grapes. He said wine, because he was so certain about the future, so confident that the grapes he saw himself pressing would eventually become the wine that he described the action using the name of the final product. So that's a deep way of thinking, describing something not by what it is, but by what it destined to become. So this is Majaz Mursal Alaqatuhu Itibar Ma Yakunu, and the Quran didn't just record this way of speaking, it just preserved it in the most beautiful and eloquent form. And with just a few words, it shows us how powerful it is to see something or someone for what they are meant to become, and not just what they are today. So this is you can see this. It's a profound example of how the Quran captures depth of the thought, the precision of the expression, and the human way of seeing the potential. So this is just a very beautiful example of this itibar ma yakunu. And we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just captured that poetic expression and just put it in Quran. It becomes eternal and recited by millions. So this is the beauty of how people speak, think, and express their hopes. So this is such an honor. Like uh, like next time you look at something ordinary, a small deed, a struggling soul, even a difficult situation, we are going to ask ourselves that what is this becoming? What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala see in its future? Because sometimes what you think it is just grapes might actually be wine in the making. So this is the beauty of the language. Inshallah, I'm going to see you in the next session, and with more beautiful connectors that we are going to learn about Majaz Mursal, that how even though there is no direct analogy, but still we do see this metaphor like in a very different way, in a very beautiful way, and this is how this language just teaches us so many things in just few words. Barakallahu li wa lakum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.